Hello, everybody. Good evening, besties. I hope you're all well today. Oop. Okay, sweater. Sorry, as soon as you resubbed. Who's number one now? I bumped my controller and it is now forcing me to hard reset all my 3DSs because the homebrew froze. Thank you, Hannah. 72 months on tier 3. Ah, wonderful. Yeah, I thrifted this in like 2018 at a little tiny church thrift store in my neighborhood. And it's so cute. It's just a bunch of different little patterns. Some stripy ones, some solids. It's so cute. It's like literally every autumn tone you could possibly ask for on one sweater. I think it would look cute with like a collared shirt underneath it. But I also think it looks good just like this. Sorry, I'm just restarting all my shit. Hi everyone. Hello Zef-chan. Hello Rancher Lex, Tori, Hannah. OMG, I love that top. Let me borrow that top. Let me borrow that top. Let me borrow the top. Stung tongue. Hello, hello. Cackling Stumps, 63-month resub. Thank you so much. Tori, 64 months. Thank you. Jargon, 260 stream streak. That's gaggy. Ivan, give it up for 10. Hello, Squiddly Diddly. Hi, Alex. Hello, Shadow Curse. Hello, Broken Abyss. Shadow Curse, thank you for that streak as well. Clefable. Hello, Lauren. Thank you for the 58 months. Rancher Lex, 39 months. Orange Shy Guy. Hello, hello. I have little boo-boos. I'm shaving today. I didn't cut myself. It's like the follicle, I don't know. Just like razor burn, I guess. Annoying. I think it's the razor I'm using. I don't know what brand it is, but I will probably switch. Do you use disposable? I guess it is disposable, yeah. But it's like, it's supposed to last several weeks. Several shaves. I don't like the electric razors. Don't get close enough. I like a smooth, clean shave. Personally, so I use disposable razor. Topher. Hello, hello, Maddie. Hello, Mads. Hello, Light. Your sweater makes you look so mask. Thanks, Diva. Yeah, I don't feel like I get a close enough shave with an electric razor. So I always use I think I currently use Harry's. I don't know. Whatever they have at Walgreens or something, I'll get. I use Dallas's Manscaped on my chest though, which is an electric razor. Never calling you manly again. I did lift weights today. Not a lot. I did like 10 reps. Cause I was like, I'll do it tomorrow. As I sip my Sabrina Carpenter shaken espresso. I hope you guys are doing great today. It's a gloomy day in Los Angeles. Is that a naked Mario on your water bottle? And Wario. We wanted to go to Santa Monica today and walk the beach and play Pokemon Go, but Dallas wasn't able to fall asleep till 6 a.m. So we were too tired. Well, he was too tired to go, and I just was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just keep sleeping. It's my day off anyway. And then it was like gloomy and rainy. Well, not rainy, but it looks like it's gonna rain. But it was gloomy and windy and cold today. Too cold to go to the beach. And too windy. Last time I went to the beach when it was windy, the sand kept like scratching me. It was getting picked up by the wind. It was unpleasant. So, oh well. I do want to do some beach trips with some friends. I don't think David would go. He hates the beach. But maybe Hannah would want to go. Nicole would probably want to go. I'll try to round up my pals. If not, Dallas and I will just go. But I really want to make sandwiches for everybody. And put them in a cooler. Like, how cute. How childlike. Yeah, shout out to Drew Draws Pinups for those stickers. They're so good. Hello, Faulkner Volkner. Hello, hello. We might as well just get into it, right? So we're back here. Yesterday, I did get a shiny. You can't see it on the screen. I forgot. Is it on this one? Yeah, I got a shiny Mareep yesterday. There is a clip now, so if you missed it, you can do the command. I made a clip before my stream. So if you didn't see it yesterday, there you go. But yeah, so far in this route, I have found Oddish, and I found Kecleon. And now we are back. I took a break. I took a break to find Lapras. I did 1,425 resets. Took a break. Went just above where I do the resets. Did hordes for Mareep and got it within 2 minutes. So the chat voted. We went back to Esper. Also, let's do a prediction. Today I was reminded how much I hate Rick and Morty. I got a clip on my Instagram. It was Summer was like playing with like this growth ray and she was making her boobs bigger, but then she like fucked up and like started like looking monstrous, and then they like ripped her skin off. I was like, this show is disgusting. I fucking hate this show. I hate it. It's nothing but body horror and gross shit. The guy who made it's a piece of shit. Fuck Rick and Morty. This is so nasty. I've been slowly motivating myself to pick up my eShop Crystal Selby hunt again. I would love to do that hunt someday. And it would work with my controller mod, actually, because the only thing that doesn't work with this is like a DS game. Because it loads like a different BIOS to play DS games. That is not homebrewed, I think. But Virtual Console stuff is like a 3DS app. You can go to the home screen and stuff. So I should be able to use controller mod, which would make it a lot easier to do resets on. I really want to do the odd egg in Crystal, where you can get like one of the shiny babies, and it's like a 1 in 12 chance of getting a shiny. So I thought I'd be that. I would do that. I think that'd be kind of fun. Not too much on Rich's pajama pants. I hate the messy drunk humor. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like the type of audience that Rick and Morty has garnered, I feel does not understand that you're not supposed to want to be like Rick. It's very much like if someone's favorite Breaking Bad character is Walter White, that is a red flag. If they hate Skylar and love Walt, that is a fucking Omega level red flag. The kid's voice is annoying. Oh yeah, Morty. Yeah, awful. There was a game that Justin Roiland was like gonna be in, and it was just like it was nothing but like Justin Roiland stammering humor, and it was so horrendous. It was like right before he got outed as a creep. Everybody was already turning on him because they were like, actually, I think we fucking hate this guy. Hello, Bootleg Potato. Media literacy in America, though, or when they like BoJack. I actually haven't seen BoJack Horseman. But I do know that the character sucks. He's a piece of shit. I've only seen like 4 or 5 episodes of Rick and Morty in my life, and that is enough for me. It's always because somebody else I was around always wanted to put it on because like a new episode came out, or like I've seen clips. You just can't. You just can't fucking do it. Hello, Midnight and beyond. Same to you. Did anybody play Univator today? I didn't get a single shiny, and I tapped a lot of stuff. We went parking lot hopping. So we would drive to it because it was not good weather. So we would drive to a parking lot, park, tap everything there, go to a different parking lot, tap, leave. We used to do that in Florida as well. It's a lot harder to do in LA. The parking lots are not as big, and it takes longer to get everywhere. But I tapped quite a bit of things. I probably tapped like 300 Pokemon, and I didn't get a single shiny. It was honestly like that at the actual Univator event that we paid to go to. The rates were really, really bad. Niantic doesn't give a fuck anymore. I'm pretty sure they sold Pokemon Go, so it's only a matter of time before they're not even a part of it anymore. They don't give a fuck. Just walked around in a park and I got a shiny Timber and Petalil. Cute. I have a few shinies that I got from the like in-person event that I went to that are cool, but I just felt like the choices for the spawns for this event were pretty lame. Also, I thought the whole point of these like regional tour things was like try to catch every Pokemon from the region in one day. Like that was the appeal of the first and second ones, the Johto, the Kanto and the Johto ones. I did not play Hoenn Tour. We had a birthday party to go to that day, so we didn't play that one. But we did Sinnoh, and I think Sinnoh Tour was just, it was like a select group of Pokemon. That was it. Like it was like the Hisuian stuff. They've kind of like ditched the idea of like try to catch every Pokemon from the region in one day, and like the whole Pokedex is spawning. It's like, here's the Pokemon that we can like, we've milked to death in events, so we don't have to worry about paywalling them anymore. So we'll give you access to them. But like, I just thought the spawns were so boring. Like, where was Pawniard in the wild? Where was Sandile? So many amazing shiny options, and yet the shit that is on the map is like Deerling, Scraggy, no Mienfoo in the wild. But at the event I got Dino, Zorua, Arkin, Scraggy, Oshawott, Ferroseed, Snivy. I hatched a Sigilif, and I got another Dino. So yeah, I don't know. They stopped with Hoenn Tour where they just kind of gave out the Reggies and they weren't in the actual event. How weird. I love Arkin too. It's great shiny as well. Archeops. Archeops would be so good with a neutralizing gas wheezing. Because then it doesn't have its shitty ability that ruins it. Like, what the fuck is that, defeatist? It's so evil. I don't even know if it's in a game with wheezing at all. That like a era of wheezing that it has neutralizing gas at least. Maybe Sword and Shield's DLC? I don't know. We need to wake up to the conversation that Houndoom is actually fierce, including its mega. You spilled. Anytime I play Platinum, I use Houndoom. And I grind in the game corner to give it Flamethrower earlier. Because Flamethrower you can get in the Fuego Ironworks, but it's so annoying to get there, and it takes forever to get there. But you can get it earlier if you grind in the casino and buy the TM with coins. So I always do that. I love Tyrant. Love Tyrant. I will be hunting Tyrant. Hello, hunt Tyrant. Hello, hello. Yeah, I have Tyrant fossils on all 3 of these games, so I will be doing Tyrant soft resets at some point. The Check Me Out channel, there's some good ass music from this shit. This has been getting me through the last 2 streams. It's so good. A Check Me Out channel with the meme maker from Metopia would be incredible. Alex would sweep. I will occasionally see people reposting your Nicki Minaj TikTok that you did, Alex, on Instagram. I saw it like 6 months ago, or maybe it was on Reddit. This song is a little bit Steven Universe Slice of Life episode. Yes. Like a little montage sequence of them like picking up trash. That's great. Ooh. I think I would be a fossil maniac if I was a trainer. Like, not in appearance, but concept. I feel like a nerdy, twinky, fossil-obsessed little nerd would be adorable. I can see what you would look like in Genshin. And I mean that as a compliment. Very Fremine coded. A person I just learned about like a week ago. Anybody remember the Everybody Votes channel on Wii? I don't know if I don't remember Everybody Votes. I only remember Check Me Out. But I have been learning about Everybody Votes and how banger the music was this past week. But I don't remember the Everybody Votes channel. Maybe if I saw gameplay of it, I would. But I definitely spent more time on Check Me Out. I remember when I found out the Wii had all these extra channels. It blew my mind that there was other shit that you could download. Because we didn't have Wi-Fi at our house for a long time. I don't think I had Wi-Fi until maybe Platinum came out. Pokemon Platinum. And I was like, it changed my life. The only time I would ever connect to Wi-Fi in Diamond and Pearl was at McDonald's, once a week. Hello, Alan. Hi, Dallas. Let's get this shiny, gamers! I do feel a shiny today. I feel it in the air. The security my Wi-Fi had wasn't compatible with Nintendo consoles for a few years. Oh, yeah, I do remember. I think one of my 3DSs had that problem. Maybe my DSi, something. But like recent, like I'm trying to remember. There was some Nintendo system that I was trying to set up that does not work with our current Wi-Fi. But I don't remember what it was. I had that issue with the Wii U for years. I wonder if that was my issue with my PS3. I got a PS3 for Christmas one year. It was so cool of my dad to do that because, like, it was expensive. And out of the box, it, like, had problems connecting to the internet. And from what I looked up online, it seemed like it was, like, a hardware problem. Like, I would need to get it replaced. And I was so, like, I would have felt so bad telling him that he got me something that was broken. So I just never told him. I never got it fixed. So... Not that there was many things I wanted to play with internet connection anyway on PS3, but it definitely made me not love my PlayStation. I loved my PS4. I didn't really use the PS3 too much. I played it enough that I felt happy I had it, but I definitely was still like really into Nintendo stuff mostly. But I played, my favorite game on PS3 was the SSX game, the 2011 SSX game. That game introduced me to so many artists that I really like. I found out Foster the People had more than just one good song from that game. Houdini was in that game. And then also Naked and Famous had music in that SSX game, and I became such a fan of them because of that SSX game. I can't express enough how much this song sounds like snowboarding to me. Like, jumping out of the helicopter at the start of every level to this song was unreal. I love them. This whole album is great. Alright, don't want to get muted. Vexatious Hex. Thank you very much for that resub. Baby Tortuga, hello, hello. I remember my friend Dondre and I, after school, we would, if on days that I wasn't going to McDonald's, I would go to McDonald's every Wednesday with my grandparents because we would get out at 1 o'clock and our school would be used on Wednesdays and Sundays for the CCD program, which is like Catholic education for non-Catholic school kids. They would always fuck up our classrooms. So, fuck them. But, so yeah, we would have early days on Wednesdays, so we would only have a snack on Wednesdays. So my grandparents would pick us up on Wednesdays because it was early, and they would get to have more time with us. And they would come down from Connecticut every week to watch us on Wednesdays, and they would take us to McDonald's. And back then you can get like the Happy Meal with like a little ice cream too. I remember getting that vanilla ice cream. Oh, crazy. But yeah, I would always, once a week, I would check the GTS. I would have like an hour to check because they had free Wi-Fi there, and I didn't have Wi-Fi at home. And then on other days, eventually we found out that there was a Wi-Fi router in our school that was next to the park that we would always go to after school, and we could get one bar. When we were like, we would have to stand by this one tree that was like just close enough to get one bar to have the most like shaky connection to the GTS possible. And the amount of times it would just like crash on us because we would lose connection. But it was so like, oh my god, we're in! I remember one time he found a shiny Shinx up for trade. Probably hacked, but who cares? We were 10, we didn't care. I remember he was like, oh my god, they want Kyogre. I'm gonna give it to them. Or something like that. It was like they wanted something crazy. And he ended up getting it. The trade went through. I remember that. I still have this. I remember I found a shiny Espeon up for trade once on the GTS. It was a Japanese shiny Espeon. And I don't remember what they wanted for it, but I was like, give it to me. and the trade went through. I remember it was like 3 o'clock in the morning in the summertime, and I was like, it was so sick, and I still have that Espeon. And I think it was legitimate. I want to say. I want to say it was a legit Espeon. I don't think it was hacked. Based off of like the Pokeball it was in and everything. I think it was legit. And I remember I transferred it up to Gen 6, and I was able to see the EVs that it had on Super Training, and it was the weirdest Espeon. It had like max HP. I was like, what the fuck? What the hell were they trying to do with this Espeon? It makes me wonder if they were trying to build an Umbreon and they fucked up and it became an Espeon, and they got so mad they put it up for trade. Well, it was Japanese, of course it's legit. It's passed all the hack checks when I've tried to like pass it up from generation to generation. It's never gotten held back in like Pokemon Bank or Pokemon Home, so I'm pretty sure it's legit. But I love that thing. Did it have a nickname? I don't think so. I think it was just Espeon. I think I like looked up on the characters on like Cerebi or something. I remember first discovering Cerebi for myself in like 2007, and I didn't really know too much about shinies. I just knew that I had encountered some in my life. My C-Dot, and then my that I didn't even notice it was shiny. Like I just caught anything that was cute, and I was going through my PC one time in Ruby version, and one of my C-Dot looked different. I was like, I don't understand what this is, and I didn't think anything of it. And then I found that I got a random Electrike in Emerald, and I ran out of Pokeballs, and I couldn't weaken it because all my Pokemon were in the 60s. So I ran. I was like, stay here. I'll come back. I never saw it again. I need to reclaim that someday. In Emerald. That's the only way. I gotta do it in Emerald. But yeah, I think that was it. And then, so yeah, I was learning what shiny Pokemon were. And I just remember going through and clicking one by one on Cerebi to see the shiny sprite for every single Pokemon from Gen 1 to 4. So I could be prepared in case I saw one again. And I was just addicted to that website, just like looking at the sprites all day. I spent the entire day one summer just doing that. Laptop cooking the skin on my legs because I just did not move. They Neopets pounded it, a very childlike mindset. I remember finding a shiny Staravia in the Great Marsh and it ran away, but my very next encounter was another shiny Staravia, so I thought for a bunch of years that specific Pokemon were already loaded into each area and you can re-encounter them if you ran or made them faint. How wild. The Neopets was for the Espeon. I figured. I figured that out. I would not know what the hell you meant if I didn't play Neopets that one day 2 years ago. And get I adopt that white Grundo. That ugly ass thing. Because I felt so bad for it. The albino Grundo. So hideous. Literally the embodiment of Toe Jam. We went to the weirdest Target today to tap Pokemon in the parking lot. It fully had like apartments in it. there was like a balcony with a grill and patio furniture. I was like, Dallas was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, I do not know. I don't know where we are. We were so like we were so like in North LA, like the northern part of the valley, that we were like, it does not even feel like LA anymore. I feel like we're in Colorado. I wonder if kids these days have the same sort of like, I don't know, whimsy about video games. Like, I wonder if kids like connect to their Pokemon in the same ways that we did when we were younger. I would assume yes, but kids these days are just so much smarter with electronics. I feel like a child today, because of like the YouTubers they maybe watch or something, they understand like RNG manipulation and like shit like that. Like, I wonder if they like understand that this is all just like code. Because as a kid, I certainly did not. I literally felt like I was like playing with like this pocket dimension. Like, kids these days are coding entire computers within a redstone contraption in Minecraft. Like, kids these days are so smart. My nephew's favorite Pokemon is Greninja. Cringe. I'm really excited to find out if my baby cousin is still into Pokemon by the time I see him in July. Because last time, 2 years ago, he's definitely autistic, and he was like very uncomfortable with like talking to anybody but my aunt's wife, who they babysit him a lot, so he just clung to her. But he has like an encyclopedic knowledge of dinosaurs and loves to watch dinosaur toy reviews and unboxings on YouTube. And he wanted nothing to do with me in Dallas, which was killing me, because I was just like, you have no idea that you are little me. You are me. You have the most in common with me out of anyone at this party, and you want nothing to do with me. But about like 7 months went by, and he started to get into Pokemon, and then my aunt Noreen, who watches him, told him how into Pokemon I am, and he had her call me, and I talked to him on the phone about Pokemon. So, I really hope he's still into Pokemon, because I would love to talk to him about Pokemon. Maybe I'll buy him a little Pokemon toy. I talked to him on the phone, and he was like, do you know Squirtle? And I was like, oh, I love Squirtle. He was like, and what about Charizard? And I was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, did you know there are dinosaur Pokemon? He was like, no, I didn't know that. And I was like, yeah, there are. I'll send you a picture of all my Pokemon stuff. But he doesn't have any Pokemon games. But I did find out he got Pokemon cards for Christmas, and they did not know how to play the card game, so they just kind of kept putting down cards, and whichever had the bigger number won. That's what they were doing. But I think now he's gonna be 5, maybe 6 this year. So I think he's old enough to start playing the games if he wants. I bet he hates Chikorita. Not if I tell him it's a dinosaur. Once he sees Meganium is a Brachiosaurus, I think he'll live. If I get him into Sonic 2, it's game over. I've successfully cloned myself. Science is gagged. He has a baby sister now. She was born Christmas Eve, I think. I didn't even know my cousin was pregnant until the baby was born. Because no one tells me anything. I called my aunt on Christmas Day to say Merry Christmas, and she was like, I'm watching Owen. Caitlin was in the hospital last night. She had her baby. I was like, she was pregnant? What are you talking about? She was like, oh my god. I tell your sister to tell you, thinking she'll relay the message, and nobody ever talks to you. And I was like, yeah, my family is a kind of, if I'm not right in front of them, we don't think about each other. Which I don't take personally, because I'm the same way. How do you feel about Mummy Pig being pregnant? Peppa Pig was after my sort of... Peppa Pig came out in my era where my sister and I would watch Nick Jr. and Playhouse Disney in the summertime and hate on it. Like, Dora would be like, where is the apple? And we'd be like, turn around, bitch, at the TV, and then make each other laugh. Like, that's like the era Peppa Pig came out for us. So we did not partake in Peppa Pig at all. I do not care about Peppa. Also, apparently, did you see that tweet that she was like, Peppa lives in Peppaville? What a narcissist. I did that to Dora with my cousins. It's so gaggy. I remember when Dora came out. And congrats to her. I remember when Dora started. I loved it. I was in pre-K 4. It was like my favorite show. But it's so crazy. And I remember like my parents being on the phone and talking about how amazing of a show it was. They were like, this is really an incredible program. I think I stayed up late to watch the Christmas episode. It was like a nighttime premiere. And I had a little mini gay awakening for the Santa in the Dora Christmas episode. He had a sexy voice and he sang Feliz Navidad. It kind of took over. It was Dora and SpongeBob for a while. Yeah. The big three. Dora, SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents. Check the spreadsheets. Back when Dora being a computer game was part of the intro. Oh, I always forget about that fact. That Dora is technically like a computer game. I don't even know if that's part of it anymore. When I was young, though, I didn't even register what the fuck was happening. Like, they would zoom in on that computer, and I'm like, whatever. It didn't register to me till like years later that Dora was a computer game, and that's why like the arrow clicks everything. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I just was like, oh, there's a computer. Oh, there's Dora. Like, just shit was happening in front of me and I was just watching it. The only Dora episode I really remember is the episode where like the lovers were turned into like statues or something. It was like a special episode. That's really it. And I remember the troll. The yellow troll that kind of wanted the Lorax's nachos a little bit. Whenever I think of like a troll under the bridge, I think of the troll from Dora. I don't think of anything else. You know what show fucked? You're about to... I thought you were about to say something that we Americans have never heard of. Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. Like, great googly moogly, bro. Anytime I get a sunburn, I think of the episode where the Beast got a sunburn and then he was inverted colors. And when they went inside Pig's box and it was like this bottomless pocket dimension, it was scary. What was that? What was that show? Was it Maisie? She was like a mouse and she looked like she was drawn with crayon. What a beautiful show. I do feel very... I really... That's one thing that I kind of... I hate to be like kids these days. But like, it's more that I feel sorry for them that like their program is like designed to be dopamine inducing and like addictive rather than like calming and educational. Like, there have been... The Cocomelon effect of children's programming is actually so dystopian and scary. Because I believe... I may be talking out of my ass, but I remember hearing that Cocomelon was not designed with, like, child psychologists in mind. The way most children's programming that we grew up with was. Like, think about something like Arthur. Or Dora, you know, or Blue's Clues. Like, they had their, like, moments. Like, Blue's Clues would have, like, the songs and like, but for the most part, it's, like, very, like, slow-paced, like, calm. But nowadays, like, I remember seeing, like, a Wheels on the Bus video, and it's, like, everything is moving in a different way, and it's like so hyper stimulating to the child that it's literally like giving them crack. And it's alarming. I like your sweatshirt. Thank you. I've been just pulling out all my OG clothing this week. I've had this for about the same amount of time as the sweatshirt from yesterday. I haven't worn it in a long time though. Even Sesame Street, I was seeing the people talk about the shift from when Sesame Street went to HBO and how everything is like so much more saturated now, and they do a lot of like green screen weird little bits. Where it's kind of just nonsense. Like, they gentrified Sesame Street. It's actually crazy. They're gonna have a millennial burger joint. We are young! With a fire in our souls. They're gonna have an acai store. And they don't have bars, they have breweries. Sometimes I go to somewhere in LA, like we went to a bagel shop where they were straight-faced. I didn't realize the prices until they had already made my food, like an idiot. I did not realize that they were charging me $15 for a bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel. I was like, you're fucking kidding me. You are actually fucking kidding me. The shit that they get away with in LA. I think anyone from the East Coast would beat them up for charging that much. Like, that's insane. Me as Joey King. I'm full desensitized being born and raised here. Yeah, I remember when I first moved here and I went to this pizza place, and the pizza was good, but it was $5.75 a slice. Like, I was used to, in the Bronx, paying $2.50 for a slice and a Coke. A can of Coke. Like, I was gagged. Like, a small pizza pie out here, which is like 6 slices, I think. And they're like New York size slices. They're not like Domino's slices. But it's like 25 bucks. It's probably more like $3.50 now. I remember I hadn't been home. Last time I went back to New York. So I moved here Christmas 2023. We got here January 1st, 2024. I had gone home 2020, like right before we moved in 2023. And then went almost a full year without going home. And I went to this deli that I would always get sandwiches at, and it was always like $4.25 for like a turkey, Swiss, lettuce, tomato, like the works on a Kaiser roll. Dallas and I went there back in September of last year, and it was like $8.50 for our sandwiches. Like, inflation had hit the Bronx hard. I was so gagged. I was like, wow, I'm gone for a year and everything's fucking changed. But that's still less than that fucking bacon, egg, and cheese. And it wasn't even that good. It was like not even remotely worth the price. We found another bagel place that was like $4.50 for a like freshly made that day bagel with cream cheese on it, and like even that's a lot for me, but it was a better option at least. Bagels being more than $1 is insane. For real. Like, I used to go to the grocery store like before school in the morning and get like fresh rolls from the deli, and it was like 25 to 30 cents per roll. So I was always going to school with a fresh roll because it was down the street, and I would get them the morning of, and then my dad would make our sandwiches for us. I would love Centret. If I'm not getting Esper, I would love it to be Centret. Oh, to be able to walk to things. I know. Our area in LA is actually relatively walkable. Like, we can walk to stuff if we wanted. It just does take like 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the distance. Can you walk to Burger King? No. And I wouldn't. I am actually a Burger King apologist, but it hasn't been that good in years, and Dallas always gets sick from it. But, yeah, there's no Burger King in walking distance here. There was actually, in our first apartment in Jacksonville, we lived down the street from a McDonald's and a Burger King. So one time while Dallas was out of town, I did walk to the Burger King, and it was not worth it. I have not done an Erewhon trip. I don't think I have any interest in going, because like the big thing you get there is like the smoothies, and I actually do not like smoothies. I've tried for years to like them. I just don't like them texturally. I just don't enjoy them. But it's also so fucking expensive. It's so expensive. I don't understand it. It's like part of the it's like the point is that it's overpriced and you're paying to be like, can you believe I paid this? Like, I don't get it. I saw a picture of a single strawberry for sale for like $18 at Erewhon today. It's so like you will be eaten first in the revolution. Erewhon CEO. Like it's just crazy to me. It's such like it almost feels like a parody. But it's straight face charging you that much. Like it feels like it's a parody in like a cartoon. About like, yeah, I went to the rich side of town. Guess what I bought today? A smoothie for $18. Yeah, it was so delicious. Thinking about when Kim Kardashian had a grocery store made inside of her own house to give her children the simulation of shopping at a store. Because they wouldn't dare step foot where peasants go. Girl, I fucking hate rich people. It is such a, like, it is actually such a comically out of touch level of rich that it's like, I don't even see you as a human. Like, you're living such you're literally like a different dimensional being at this point with how not similar our lives will ever be. There's a blue-green algae they put in absolutely everything at Erewhon. But when you say you hate rich, people out there, people out loud, could you fucking talk? Could you spell check before you type? I can't decipher what the fuck you're saying. Bitch, that's on you. But when you say you hate rich people out loud, you're the bad guy, Chun-Li. I know you're quoting Nicki. Yeah, maybe a comma would help you. Was Chun-Li on Queen? I think it was. She put out 2 singles in the same day, and I was shocked that one of them was not on it. I think it was Barbie Tings. And I was like, why was this not on the album? Barbie Tings, I'm still thinking about it. Best song from that era. That was such a crazy day. Her dropping those 2 fucking songs on the same day. I remember listening to it in the car with my sister, both of them. And we were like, what a day to be alive. The Queen is back. I remember walking to class listening to both of them. Ooh, that was a lovely morning. I remember it. It was rainy. We were on the way to Connecticut to visit my aunt. My sister was driving. Let's eat grandma. Yeah, I don't know if you were here, Rattan, but yesterday I referenced chunks, huh? And every time I see that meme, I think of you typing that in my fucking chat. For some reason. Like a year ago. Mel referenced it like 3 nights ago on Discord, and I literally was like, one time Rattan just said that in my chat. I don't even know if it was prompted by anything, but I was like, oh, that fucking penguin. So, chunks, huh? The emoji. Stop. That's so funny. Just found out the algae on Erewhon's site sold separately for $88 minimum, 176 maximum. Did you see that there was some model that was modeling with like fresh groceries that were like falling out of her bag onto the floor? And they were like, the rich will start using groceries as props because it is such a status symbol to be able to afford them. And I was like, oh my god, it's so true. Also, there was this one post. Let me see if I can find it. I probably liked it. But I've been on my main account more lately, so it might be in my likes on there. Here we go, yeah. Have a seat. Let's talk about how seed oils are making you fat, vaccines are linked to autism, and Alex Jones was right. So fascinated by these people who think seed oils and vaccines are dangerous and unnatural, but still get filler. God, it's literally like that is what runs rampant. People like that run fucking wild on TikTok. That one girl that was like rapping about how she holistically cured her like kidney cancer. Like, no, baby, you didn't. No, you did not manifest your cancer away with your fucking TikTok shop link to some fucking gummy. Yes, it was the white woman with threads, yes. They still get fillers after study shows that dissolving them doesn't make it go away. It just stays in your system. When I found that out, I already was like, I don't think I'd ever get fillers, even if it would like make me more confident, because, and no shame to people that do, I don't fucking care. But like for me personally, I was just like, I would really like to mentally love myself without any. I really would like to do the work to try to mentally love myself without a cosmetic procedure. But when I found out that shit, when they like did like 3D scans, they did like ultrasounds of people's faces to show how it just fucking sits in there and over time expands because it like absorbs more water. I was like, no. Absolutely fucking never. Will you ever go back to Lapras, or are you taking a break? Yeah. I will. Probably after this phase. Probably take a break every 1,000 resets for Lapras. My dad sent me some weird story of one guy who cured cancer with like dog medicine to be like, look, we can cure your cat's cancer, and I just never replied. I did get it was like a clip of the Today Show. They were talking about, so recently they developed this like vaccine for cats that can actually extend their lifespan. And I guess they just figured out how to do it for dogs too. It adds like another couple years to their life. I don't know what's in it, but it's for dog. You have to wait till your dog's at least 10 to give it to them or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully quality years and not just years. I think like I don't know what it's like for the dogs. Yeah, 10 years and 14 pounds. Yes, Ivan. I think for the cats, it like helps prevent a type of like kidney disease that they get from aging or something like that. That is often the reason why they pass away from old age. It like helps delay the start of the disease, which is pretty cool, pretty amazing. I did see on the dog one, I as someone who did have a dog die, like, I feel like I am allowed to laugh at this. I did see somebody in the comments of the dog breakthrough just going, little too late. That's it. And I was like, I was like, oh god. I remember after my mom passed away, I remember thinking to myself, they're gonna announce the cure tomorrow. They're gonna announce the cure to cancer tomorrow, and I'm gonna kill myself. I was like, this would happen to me. It didn't, but... Hi, Anne. Thinking about all those Boeing whistleblowers that all killed themselves, and now we are seeing planes constantly fall out of the sky multiple times a week. It's like, huh. It's almost like they had something going on. All these triple glooms all at once are such a squad. I know. I have so many because they are great for sweet scent. And then also, like, catching the Pokemon, because they get the powder moves and stuff. It's because there's no more woke to push the planes up. Yeah, exactly. The equilibrium. Did you see that a Southwest plane almost crashed at Chicago Midway because a private jet pilot kept moving even though the control guy was like, stop moving? Does anyone want me to sing The Wizard and I? Yes. Go off, Diva. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a mix of everything. Did you see that clip of him where he was like, so, actually, funny enough, we accidentally fired someone, but we brought them back, or like we deleted, like nervously laughing, thinking everybody would think it's so funny that they made this horrible mistake. We accidentally deleted everything. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, I'm gonna bash my head through a wall, actually. He's so cringe. Like, it's so actually insane to me that these, like, dude bro alpha male guys don't want to beat him up. He's literally, like, prime get bullied in school material. Like, it's crazy. Him and Ben Shapiro, they literally give shoved in a locker vibes. How are they, like, seen as these fucking cool guys? I saw a guy driving what I can only describe as a Republican car today, and the car said, "Once it's fall, fire them all." God. God. There's this one, Trump and Elon did an interview together where they're sitting next to each other, and Elon starts, like, imitating a dinosaur, going like, like literally what he always does, and you can, like, see Trump, like, want to kill himself in that moment. I'm like, oh my god. Elon having 13 kids still breaks my brain. It's so wild. It's so crazy. Okay, body language coach. I know. I was so body language like analysis in that moment. A car pulled out in front of me the other day that was covered in, like, coexist stickers and, like, be the reason somebody has a good day stickers, but also a thin blue line and MAGA stuff. That is a crazy ass couple that share that car. And this is Massachusetts, mind you. Yeah. Blue Massachusetts. From what I know of Massachusetts, from people that I know that have lived there, they're like, oh yeah, it's blue, but it's still really racist. I've heard Boston is, like, turbo racist. I got heckled in Boston one time. I was wearing skinny jeans, and some guy, I was crossing the street. I had the right of way, and this guy was stopped at a red light, and then as I was walking away, he shouted from his window, "Fuck you and your tight fucking pants." And I was like, why are you looking? I was like, what the fuck? So angry all the time. Anytime, this happened more when I was on the East Coast, but you could always tell when somebody was from Massachusetts by how horrible and terrible they were at driving. Like how selfish they were as a driver. The massholes of the road. We had somebody the other day, Dallas was driving, and they, like, cut him off. And I was like, are they from Massachusetts? And I looked at their license plate, and they were. I heard someone say that Americans talk exactly like the NPCs in GTA. That's funny. I wish I was crazy enough to scream at random people. Yeah. As a New Yorker, Boston roads make no sense. Oh, getting around by car in Boston is actually so fucking insane. There are actually a lot. I remember when we first moved to Jacksonville and we were, like, driving into the downtown. The roads in downtown Jacksonville reminded me so much of how fucking bizarre Boston's driving is. Like, the way, like the exit ramps and like how they like, they're just, it's such a weirdly laid out road system in Boston. I remember anytime I had to like take an Uber for a convention for like PAX or something, they'd always make a wrong turn because they could not tell where the exit ramp was. It was insane. It's because it wasn't planned. All the roads are like from the days of horses. Oh yeah, exactly. New York's kind of like that too. Like the lower part of New York, lower Manhattan, is like, it's a fucking mess. And then Midtown and Upper Manhattan is when they decide, when it was like decided it would be a grid. But lower Manhattan is insane looking. Would you donate a kidney to chat? No. My kidneys are for my family or Dallas. Like blood relatives or found family. Sorry. Not even your best chatter? No. Not even you. I mean, I don't play favorites. Cut to me yesterday saying, I don't care about Anne. Because Jargon asked me 3 fucking times, do you think Anne's enjoying her pizza? Did you? I asked once. Sim asked once. We're becoming one. Very different fonts. Well, the answer is I did not enjoy it. I forgot it was thin crust and I was looking for a breadier experience. Also, it was so busy and Girl Scouts swarmed me like sharks. 2 Girl Scouts asked me if I wanted cookies. I remember there was 2 instances where I bought Girl Scout cookies and then immediately got a cold sore the next day after eating them. So I have not had a Girl Scout cookie in like 8 years. I was like, there's something in this batch of Thin Mints that keeps fucking me up. Someone in the factory was getting crazy with those fucking, with the cookie dough. Knock on wood, but yeah, I because of like the constant stress I was going through at home and then like my vitamin D deficiency, I literally was like 2016, I was getting cold sores like once a month for a while. It was really bad. And I haven't had one in years. I'm gonna use the bathroom since I broke 500. I will be back. Hello. I have returned. Jimmy, can you be on Taskmaster so I can watch both at the same time? What the hell is that? What's Taskmaster? Did anyone see that Sonic Unleashed fan-made PC port thing? No. But that sounds cool. That game deserves a remaster. I want them to do a Shadow Generations for like every Sonic game that he's not in. Like, what the hell was Shadow doing when the Earth was broken into pieces? Fucking nothing? It's a show where they have comedians do tasks that are pre-recorded, and then when they film the episode live, they watch back the recordings and they make fun of each other. Oh, interesting. Can you stop moving? I'm painting you. I'll check it out later. Thank you, Alan. I remember being so sad there's like not a good Xbox emulator when I wanted to play it like 3 years ago, and I had to wait till I flew home to get my Xbox. The fact that I played through all of Sonic Unleashed with the Xbox controller with joystick drift was crazy, considering how precise some of the platforming is as the werehog, where you have to like balance across the balance beams. I was kind of crazy for that. Doing Eggman Land with Joy-Con drift. A testament to my power as a pro gamer. I played so much of Kingdom Hearts that like halfway through, I think maybe Kingdom Hearts 2, I had to get a new PS4 controller because I was having drift issues. I was sad. I loved my gold one. Were you a Monkey Bars kid? Not really. I mean, our park did have one, but it was not the park that I would always go to, so I didn't do them very often. But also, I was not very strong. I did not have much upper body strength as a child, so I did not really enjoy them. My fingers would always get tired. I love the swings. The swings was like my favorite thing at the park. Can you learn how to pull up Dallas when you do a pull-up? Okay. I can do like one pull-up, but I could do like 3 chin-ups. I just don't do them very often, so I haven't had time to haven't had a chance to like build my strength up progressively. But I really should. We do have a pull-up bar that we put over our door frame. And I always forget it's there, and then I close the door, and then it fucking falls on my head. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the park that we would always go to did not have a seesaw, but there was another one in the neighborhood that was farther away that did have a seesaw, and there's a picture of me as a baby on a seesaw that I had as my Facebook profile picture for fucking ever. This is a smaller version of the whole picture. Let me see if I can find the full thing. Yeah, here it is. Hang on. I would wear this outfit now. This is my mom pushing me on a swing. My first birthday. Oh my god. You look like an apple. Oh my god. I was cute as hell. There was a period where I looked back on my baby photos and I was like, I was such an ugly kid. That was such a period of body dysmorphia that I really was like, I am so glad I went to therapy. Because, like, what the fuck? Me as peas. That time I was peas. Oh, you guys don't remember that time that I was peas? Let me see if there's any other cute ones. This is me getting GameCube games for the first time on Christmas. Me and a goat. Me and the goat. I loved these pictures of myself. They were my profile pictures for a while too. Oh my god. These are the pictures they would show to me on Drag Race. What would you say to baby Jimmy? And I'd be like, never kill yourself. I know! This, like, beautiful wool sweater. Like, this is crazy. The drip. This is at the Bronx Zoo. There was this part where, like, they had a bunch of, like, gophers and mice and shit. And they had these little pods that you could pop up and you could, like, be in the enclosure safely. The face card. The face card. That's really all the pictures I have. This picture is like a freaking catalog photo. That's crazy. There's other cute pictures, but they have other people in them. I can't tell if this was me or my sister. I think this might have been my sister. We could never tell. And my dad didn't remember. But either way, this is hilarious. You were on the Charlie XCX bed. Your hair was so shiny. I know. It really was. The blonde. The blonde of it all. Next time I go home, I should go through and find more cute photos. Cause that was me going through photos back in like 2010. I'm sure there's other cute ones. I was also a blondie turned brunette. Yeah, I think my hair started to turn like dirty blonde when I was like 7 or 8. And it would get really blonde in the summer from how much time I spent outside. Sun bleached. This song is hypnotic. I've had it on for an hour and a half straight. That's the power of Nintendo music, dude. Did you know snow can turn some dogs' noses a lighter color? I never knew that. I did not know that either. That was honestly one of the weirdest things about growing up, realizing one day, oh, I truly don't count as a blonde anymore. Yeah, I never really noticed until a long time after that I wasn't blonde anymore. Because it was just such a slow fade to brown that, like, I just didn't realize it was happening. They call it snow nose. A snow's. Oh my god, cute. Cute! Like boiling a frog. Horrible. Ew. Where did everybody get their first pimple? Mine was right in the middle of my nose, and it was like the smallest little thing, but I literally like was so dramatic about it. I didn't want to be seen by anyone. I remember it was like the day after I graduated 8th grade, and I was like, I'm officially a high schooler, and now I have a pimple. And I remember begging my dad to take me to CVS or Dwayne Reed or something to buy Neutrogena pink grapefruit skin wash. And I scrubbed my face so fucking hard with a washcloth that I irritated my skin and I made it worse. I'm glad I didn't choose to remember that information. I think I only remember it because I was so dramatic about it. Because, like, I feel like all the media that I grew up consuming, like, entire episodes of a show would be dedicated to a character having a pimple and freaking out about it. So I thought I was supposed to as well. I had really bad back knee for a while. And if I do get pimples, it's usually on my shoulders still. But it's very minimal. But I do have a lot of acne scarring from back knee on my shoulders especially. My sister really had really bad like cystic acne. She had to go on medication for it. But for me, I would like break out on my forehead and like my neck, like under my jaw. Like I remember just constantly having like huge like fucking like cystic acne like on my neck especially, and I would always pick it because I couldn't help myself, and on my scalp it was really bad. But thankfully, like, most of the time my acne was relatively, like, moderate, I would say. I was very lucky. I started getting acne really young. I do remember this boy I was friends with in elementary school very loudly going, "You have a pimple in the same spot I do," on the bus. That's weirdly cute, but also probably mortifying. I remember, I feel like everyone I knew, like when we got pimples, we were all so awkward about our own pimples that we never acknowledged each other's. But we all definitely noticed, but it was all like, we don't want to say anything because we're all uncomfortable with this and we all just have them now. Actually, I want to say I probably maybe I started getting acne at the end of 6th grade, not 8th grade. Because I have vivid memories of being in the bathroom in middle school picking them. There was a period of time where the boys were banned from using the bathroom at my school. So we had to walk 3 stories all the way down to the main office and sign a booklet to get the keys to the single stall, like, faculty restroom. And that was like that for like 3 straight years. They would always blame us for when it would flood, when in actuality it was because it was a shithole school. But they always were like, "You guys broke it, you're banned." I remember in kindergarten, the first time I ever had an accident, in kindergarten, this one kid, there was like a bathroom in the classroom, and he went into the bathroom and he peed all over the walls, and our teacher was like, "For the rest of the day, boys are not allowed to use the bathroom because none of you wants to come forward and say who it was." And I literally was like, "I'm not allowed to use the bathroom. I'm going to get in trouble if I ask," because pretty sure some kids were like, "Can I please use the bathroom?" And she was like, "No." So I ended up peeing my pants because I really had to go, and I was 5. And I remember, like, being mortified when it happened, and then I was hoping nobody would notice, and then a girl across from me was like, "The floor's wet." And my parents were pissed. She was like, "You really let these children hold their pee for 8 hours? Are you nuts?" But that was the age we were required to have like a change of clothes in our cubby for situations like that. That's a form of torture. Catholic school, baby. Literally child abuse. And they just got away with it. There were multiple instances where the principal would call like our entire grade, the grade above us and the grade below us, down to the auditorium, and she would just berate us for like an hour and a half about how awful we were, like, behaviorally. When in reality, my actual grade was really well behaved. The kids above us were kind of fucked up, and the kids below us were kind of fucked up. But my grade was pretty well behaved. My sister's grade was pretty well behaved. The grade below her was pretty well behaved. But the grades that we were sandwiched between, they were pretty fucked up. I remember the kids in the grade above us found their teacher on Facebook and like harassed her so much I think she quit mid-year. She definitely did not come back the following year. But they were some fucking whack jobs in the grade above us. They were crazy kids. But our grade was pretty chill. We never really got in trouble. We would always get lumped in and just screamed at for hours. It was kind of crazy. I remember one time our parents like all found out. They were like, "Wait, the principal just screamed at you guys for 2 hours today, and we were like, yeah. She did it last week too. And they were like, what? What the fuck? We had this one teacher. She taught us, we took her, they like started to switch us classes from like all the way to 6th grade. We had just one teacher that taught us everything, but they tried something different where like they wanted to train us for high school. So they started having the kids like switch classrooms, and different teachers would teach us different subjects. So our science teacher in 7th grade, she was nuts, and she was like clearly on a power trip. She'd been there for like 25 years, and she had this punishment where if she would tell people to, she would basically, your punishment assignment if you were bad was you had to write Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven like 7 times over as your homework. And if she was really pissed, she would say, and I want you to color my world, which means like every word had to be in a different color ink or colored pencil. Just fucking sadist shit. Like, what is that gonna teach anyone? The amount of teachers who genuinely loathe children is scary. Yeah. There were actually quite a lot of them at my Catholic schools. But I did have a lot of teachers that like were very hard on us, but like genuinely wanted us, like they like liked us. We had one teacher, we had her just for math class in 5th grade, and then she was our homeroom teacher in 6th grade. And then we found out we were gonna have her again for 7th grade. She liked, her grandson was in my class, and they were also, it was the recession, so they like laid off like half the teachers. Pretty much every grade went from like 2 groups of 30 kids down to 1. So we at one point had like 37 kids in one class. And she was like, I want to teach that group of kids again. And my dad actually had her when he was in 6th grade, which was fucking crazy. But yeah, we had her in 7th grade, and it was kind of cool to have her again. She was a hard ass. But she was a great teacher. Like, I learned a lot from her. And then we had her again in 8th grade for like English and math class. And I remember she got so emotional when we were graduating 8th grade. Like, half the class was crying because she like had us for like she taught us at least once a day for like 4 straight years. Hi, Ruby. Come on in, Ruby. Hi, Soda Boy. Hi, baby dogs. Hi, guys. He is so happy. I have not seen him in an hour and a half. Hi, little man. Hi, little man. Hi, little man. Hi. Hello. 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 Hi, little man. Hello. Hello. Hello, buddy. Hi, guys. Whoop. Hey, guys. Stop biting her. Soda, stop biting her. Hi, guys. Hi, puppies. Hi, puppies. Ruby's been great. No problems at all. Thank God. Bye, guys. Go. It's so funny. He's like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. And he's like, ah, shit, I gotta go. He's kicking me out. Looney Tunes little ass. Really, though. But yeah, the teacher I was talking about, she passed away like last year. I was really sad because I didn't get to go to the funeral or anything. I would have gone to the wake for sure. But I always wanted to go back and visit at one point. I visited her when I was in a sophomore year in high school. I went back to my elementary school and I talked to her for like half hour. But I always wanted to go back when I was in my 20s and like really have a conversation as adults together, but just never got around to it. And then she passed away. She was old though. It was crazy. The fact that she was like already in like her late 60s when she taught me, and she's still taught like for a really long time. But yeah, she taught my dad. I remember like she was like yelling at me. She gave me detention for doing my she was a little crazy for this. Me and my friends Toby and Angela, we all got detention one time. The only time in my life I've ever had detention, because we all got a head start on our homework during our lunch period. And she was like, homework is to be done at home. And she gave us all detention and failed us on the homework. And I remember my dad was like pretty pissed about it. And it was really weird that he was like arguing with his old teacher. I was like, oh my god, they have beef. They have history. This is so awkward. Because my dad went to my elementary school as well when he was a kid. Because he lived in my neighborhood his whole life. I was kind of gagged that he actually did move out of the neighborhood last year when he got married. I love his new house. It's gorgeous. I was so congested this morning. I woke up and I had to immediately take Zyrtec. It's very random when my allergies kind of flare up. I don't know why. I noticed that if it goes from like a really hot day to like a really cold day, it kind of fucks with my sinuses. And it was pretty cold today after it's been like hot all week. I think the changing of seasons and temperatures screws with me. My breathing's been a lot better since living in California because it's not as humid. Humidity makes it so hot, and I really don't function well when I'm really warm. But the humidity especially just made it so hard for me to breathe that like when we'd walk Ruby, I like would be so concentrated on breathing that I like wouldn't even talk. I would just be silent the whole walk and unhappy. LA, it does get hot, but since it's not humid, like when you're in the shade, it's bearable because the air is not hot anymore. But the humidity, it's just so... Florida is like so unbearable in every sense of the word. I'm so happy to be gone from there. I kind of have like forgotten that I lived there a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, I did live there and it was horrible. Everything you say about Florida has me like, how the fuck does anybody live there? Yeah, it's literally like, it is a swamp. Especially like the central parts that are like not against the coasts. It is a swamp. Most of Florida is like marshland and just horribleness. And it's flat. There's no like visually interesting scenery. when you're going from place to place. It's entirely sprawl cities, except for like St. Augustine. And like the bigger cities like Tampa, Miami, downtown Orlando. For the most part, it's all sprawl and suburban like strip malls and parking lots. I've known 2 people move to Florida, one specifically to Jacksonville. I was like, girl, I'm so sorry. It's like, actually, I really, when I shit on Florida a lot, but like Orlando's pretty cool. I know people love Miami. Miami does not claim that it is part of Florida. And I know a lot of people really like Tampa. Jacksonville is like it is like really like, when people shit on Florida, that's the type of shit they're shitting on. It is like so peak Florida in so many ways. It's unbearably boring. Like I literally was like, there were often times where I really felt like I was wasting my life away. I was like, these are like supposed to be the best years of my life, and I'm not making any moves career-wise. I have no social life. And Dallas's parents were blindsided, allegedly, that we moved.
You didn't put an order in.
No, they were closed.
I didn't know what happened.
Yeah. I'm talking about Florida. I was saying how like your parents were gagged that we wanted to leave, even though we talked about hating it for like 2 straight years.
We told them a year before we were going to leave, and then we stayed another 18 months.
Yeah. I can't imagine not living near mountains. Yeah, it was really like New York. More so upstate New York has more like mountains, but even where I grew up, like near like Yonkers and like Westchester and stuff, it's hilly. There's a lot of hills. So when I moved to Florida, it was like so jarringly flat that when we came here to visit, it had been the first time in a long time that I had seen like mountains. I remember one time we drove to New York for Christmas and we were driving through Connecticut, and it was like northern Connecticut. It was very mountainous. And I remembered, I think Dallas was kind of gagged because like, whoa, the scenery. I never thought about it getting cooler immediately after sunset until you mentioned it a couple months ago, and now I appreciate it every single evening. Yeah, Florida, we would like walk the dogs at like 1 o'clock in the morning. It was just Ruby, but we would walk Ruby late at night, and it was still just like, it was only 5 degrees cooler. It would be like 99 feels like 106, and then at night it would be 95 feels like 99. Just soupy and mosquito-y. It was horrible. I'm really surprised. Dallas's mom is the same way as me. The heat really affects her negatively with her breathing and the humidity. It fucks with her like asthma and stuff. I'm so shocked that they're so committed to Florida for the rest of their life. Because I tell her all the time about how much better like my breathing is out here, and like how much better I am with the heat. But they're pretty committed to it. I lived all over Florida: Tallahassee, West Palm, Orlando, Fort Myers. Spent a lot of time in Tampa and Jacksonville. Currently in Miami. Jacksonville was for sure my least favorite. Yeah, there's like, it's so crazy how there is, like, I'm not even exaggerating, nothing to do. There's nothing. There's like barely any like unique restaurants. It's all like chains. So like you can't even like make going out for a meal like a fun thing to do. It's like, where do you want to go? McDonald's or Applebee's? We fucked with Applebee's. We did go to Applebee's a lot. But like, I remember after a few months of living in Jacksonville, I was like, damn, there's really not a lot to do. Like, let me go to like Jacksonville tourism websites and see like fun things to do in Jacksonville. And it was like, go to this diner that is a chain and not actually unique to Florida even. It was called like the Metro Diner or something like that. Go to this like bike path along the river. I was like, oh. Oh, I'm killing myself here. Oh, I think I might do it. Whenever I mentioned you living in Jacksonville and passing to my dad, he would go, I went to rehab there. Also, you talking to your father about me is so funny. You are so wetsy-pilled. That's crazy. That's like someone in my chat a few years ago being like, I told my mom about Anne. I'm like, that's insane. Not even my family knows about Anne. What the fuck? Older people seem to take pride in living in the same place for 50 years. It blows my mind when I'm arguing with like my conservative family members and they're always like, one of these days you're gonna grow up and you're gonna wake up to my perspective and you're gonna finally get it. One of these days you're gonna see it how I see it. And I'm like, I lived in more states with you, met more people than you will ever meet in your entire life in half the time. I feel like I'm more worldly than you are. Also, like, I'm almost 30. Stop saying that to me. I've voted in 3 elections now. And multiple midterms. Like, shut the actual fuck up. No, I will never turn racist because I'm old enough to realize. Like, what are you fucking saying to me? That's never going to fucking happen. Were you committed to LA or would you have settled for a cheaper city in LA? I was pretty committed to LA. I wanted to move to LA since I was in high school. And I thought I would do it right out of high school, but it was always too expensive for me. And then eventually I just was like, I don't know what my future is going to be. But I just know so many people out here that I was like, I want to live in Los Angeles. I want this for myself. And I'm glad I did it. Do I see myself buying a house here and living here forever? I don't know about that, but at least for the next 10 years, I'd like to be here at least. Good girl. Hello. Good girl, Ruby. Everybody I'm mildly acquainted with online is just my buddy to my parents. They're like 70. It's just easier from them that way. Oh, I totally get that. I totally get that. Ole mole. But yeah, I think long term, like if I were to ever settle down and buy a house, I would probably want to live in like upstate New York or something. It's just so beautiful. Like my entire life, I've always wanted to live in California, but when I envision like the later years of my life, it's in the Hudson Valley. With like 6 dogs that I've rescued. Thank you for the streak, Antonio. Hi, Danny. You clocked their gag. When you clock a gag. I told my dad about how you got stuck in the Texas desert. I told my dad too. He was there. Mole, mole. I want to evolve this Mareep into Flaffy. I'm gonna level it up. I got so nervous last night that I forgot to save after getting Mareep. For some reason, I ran out of bed, ran across the apartment. My DS had died, and I was like, oh, fuck. So I plugged it in, I turned it back on. I did save, as you can see. That clocked your gag pic really took me out when you posted it. I could not believe like, within a day of seeing the original post, I had a chance to use it in actual context in a situation. I was like, I was so giddy that I had a chance to link that post so soon after seeing it. Holy moly. So cute. I love Mareep. Let's try to kill it. Wow, that actually did a lot more damage I thought it would. This might get it a level up. Tiny object. Do I have one handy? I'll get up. Almost tripped me. You okay? I didn't see you. Is that BDSP? I think I got that before BDSP came out. Here's what we're gonna do. Go back to Gloom. Turn the effects off. Save the game on each game. And we'll just fight them on everything. Why Ruby trying to kill you? Because she hasn't had a greenie today and she's pissed. I thought about going to college in LA, but then I found out that not only did I probably not have the grades to get into USC, it was also going to be almost $70,000 a year for out-of-state tuition. So I gave up on that dream. And I didn't even go to college anyway, but I was like, if I'm gonna go, I want to go to college in California. But then I couldn't. And my choices were local instead. Ole mole. Flaffy time. And then someday we will have Ampharos. But that is not today. I wish Flaffy looked a little bit more different, but at least Ampharos looks cool. Flaffy, like it's like just desaturated and it gets a green tail. I have a shiny Flaffy card. I think I pulled it like 3 different times in whatever set that was. To the point where I actually traded Pokemon cards with somebody. I traded with one of Dallas's friends. I had never traded a Pokemon card before in my life. Out-of-state tuition is so insane, especially because so many places around the country don't care where you went to school, but it discourages people from traveling across the country. Yeah. The tuition I settled on was a state school, SUNY Purchase, which was made famous for the viral Danny DeVito shrine in the bathroom. And it was like $11,000 a year or something like that for in-state tuition. And I was gonna get financial aid for that as well, but I ended up not going. It was like 3 days into the first semester, and I had not even picked classes, and they were like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I'm not coming." And they never responded to me, but they gave me my $250 deposit back and then never talked to me again. I had like no extracurriculars and my grades were pretty mid. I had like mid 80 average, like 86 I want to say, 82 to 86 in high school. But my essay about being a YouTuber and my mom being dead and how many like opportunities I made for myself in like 4 short years got me into every single school I applied to with several scholarships. But even with the scholarships, all the other schools were still more expensive than the state school that I ended up picking, which was also my first choice. This is the only one that I had the time to tour. So yeah, I applied to Quinnipiac, Manhattanville, and Iona College in Westchester. There was one, Quinnipiac had its own separate financial aid form that I had to fill out that was different from the FAFSA. And I remember my dad and my stepmom had gotten married when I was applying to schools. His ex-wife, his terrible ex-wife. And they were never happy with each other. But they had a fight that night while I was filling out the application. And then we found out that we needed her to come down from the bedroom to fill shit out. And my dad was like, they were not getting along. So he was like, "How badly do you want to go to this school?" I was like, "It's my 4th choice of 4. He was like, "Okay, so, forget it." Like, we can't finish this application because I'm currently fighting with my wife that I hate. And I don't want to have to ask her to come down to fill out this application. So, just give up on this school. Even if you get into it, we won't get the financial aid, so we can't afford it. I was like, okay, cool. I'm so happy his new wife is such an incredible, good person, because my God. His previous marriage was so horrible for him, and then me and my sister. One day I will do a super in-depth tell-all about everything, because I haven't even shared some of the crazier shit that happened. The abuse. I never had a dream college, which I regret a little. I feel like that's the case with a lot of people, though. I feel like having a dream college is propaganda to keep these really expensive schools in business. But I also had no drive to ever go to college, because I realized in high school that I hated being a student so much. That when I found out that I could potentially not have to be a student anymore, it was so exciting to me. But yeah, I also just never had like aspirations to go to a dream school. I remember in high school, like, I had friends in freshman year that were already, like, excited about, like, potential colleges. And I literally was like, I haven't even given that a second thought. The idea of going is terrifying to me. I think I do much better now as an adult going to school. But, like, the idea of going to college while also being, like, timid, shy, and closeted, like, it literally was like, I could barely handle my high school when I was younger. I remember the first day of high school, I came out of the school, I went to my dad's car, and I just remember sobbing because I knew nobody. I was so uncomfortable with the new setting and stressed out about everything. Because my school kind of made it feel like you were always on the verge of doing something wrong. Or were already doing something wrong. Because, like, we had 3 minutes to race across school to get to our next class. If we were even a minute late, you get detention. If your tie was not straight, you get detention. If your buttons on your dress shirt were not buttoned, you get detention. Like, it was crazy. And it was just constantly stressing me out. Honestly, same on not having that drive. I live in a college town, so I was always just like, well, I guess I'm going down the street. Yeah, I don't know. The idea of, like, especially once I started, like, doing YouTube and stuff, and I knew a lot of people that didn't go to college and they were doing just fine. And I didn't not go to college because, like, I'm not going to college, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I was more like, I don't really feel like college lines up with what I want to do for the next few years. So I'd like to wait. Like, I could not articulate how much I was, like, not emotionally, mentally prepared. Plus, I was like, I kind of, like, I had a lot of opportunities when I was in high school that I would, like, literally skip school to do. With, like, YouTube and stuff like that. And I was kind of, like, constantly being told, like, it's just, like, it's a shame that you're still in high school because, like, we'd love to have you around more often to do stuff. And I was like, me being a student is, like, actively harming, like, the opportunities that I could possibly be having for the dreams that I would like to achieve. Like, I literally have, like, a path to that already without schooling. Why would I wait 4 more years to do things I want to do and bog myself down with student debt and stress, you know? I need to change out of this sweater. It's getting warm in here. Scream it for me, baby, like you're gonna die. I can't wait, I know. Sometimes I wonder what my life would be like if I had gone to art school, but it didn't really register as something I could do until I was like 2 years into an English degree. I think what I really hate about a lot of art schools is you have to already be pretty talented. Like, you have to have like a really good portfolio a lot of the time to get into a lot of them. And my high school was just not the type of high school to even remotely foster that as a career path. My high school churns out stockbroker guys like it's their fucking job. I took a half-year art class. I didn't take art until I was a junior, and it was a half-year class. And then I got to take it in senior year. But at that point, like, it does nothing. You've applied for colleges after your first quarter of senior year. Like, it doesn't help anything. My high school was all about religion and, like, math. And, like, like, they barely cared about their creative stuff. They would rather redo the football field like twice, because they did export like a lot of like college athletes, like and was it NCAA is the college one, and like football. Like, they would have days dedicated to press conferences where like all the high school guys would sign to different colleges, like all the jocks, and they would treat them like celebrities. Meanwhile, I'm actually sitting there with 150,000 YouTube subscribers with actual clout, and like half the teachers like wouldn't even have cared. The administration, I remember the president of the school said welcome to the school my first day of junior year. He had such a little idea of who I fucking was. So, like, impersonal, I was gagged. I was like, I've been here for 3 years already. And it's not even like I was like, I thought I was, like, I didn't actually have, like, an ego about my clout. But, like, objectively, like, I literally, like, I have a following. But you want to like prop up these like football guys who will probably not, they'll probably be benched most of the time once they're actually on a team in college, and then amount to nothing. Because like the actual rate of like college athletes that go on to pros is so minuscule. There were a lot of famous people, or like not famous, but like notable people whose kids went to our school. Like, there was a Yankee player in my class. Yankee player's son who was in my class, and that fucker was always borrowing pens from me and never giving them back. I'm like, bitch, your dad makes $35 million a year. Why is he not taking you to Staples? Why are you borrowing my shit? Why do you come to class every day without pens and pencils? There was I'm trying not to dox where I went too much, but there was a famous rapper whose son was a senior when I was a freshman. And I remember it was a big deal when he was signing to a college. Like, the guy came to the school. They had a whole press conference. It was crazy. There was a bunch of people who, like, had stake in the New York Giants. Like, millions of dollars of net worth, that their sons, like, went to my school and stuff like that. I went to a very rich kid's school, and I was not rich. It was crazy, like, how actually different of a life I lived than anyone I went to high school with, for the most part. It's so crazy. But yeah, like, they had, like, 3 computers in the library, all running Windows XP in, like, 2013. Because they were like, we're actually going to use our budget to repair the football field that is in perfect condition, rather than equip our students with better tools for creative pursuits. I was kind of gagged that we even had an art class, to be honest. But yeah, I think I would have loved to like go to an art school for sure. I feel like I would have been able to have a lot of things that I could learn that would help me creatively. But it just like it was not even remotely something I thought I could consider. Because I did not have art pitched to me as like a thing that I realized I loved until I had already applied to schools, pretty much. I did not have years of art classes to build a portfolio with. I did not have any sort of anything to lead me down that path. I remember I realized that a lot of the kids in my school were like really rich when we were like juniors or whatever, when like most of the kids in my class were turning 16 and their parents were buying them like brand new cars for their birthdays. I didn't learn to drive because I knew I wouldn't be able to have a car anyway. So, plus I was afraid of the driver's ed teacher at my school. I was afraid to be alone in a car with him because he just was a very scary, emotionless man. And I was a timid little sissy. But, yeah, it was crazy. To be fair, he also lived in New York as well. Yeah, that's true too. But yeah, I'm very glad that I remember your school had its own driver's ed teacher. Yeah. You'd have to like I was always late to school too because I lived pretty far from it. To the point where the woman in the like attendance office, she knew one of my aunts, which was kind of fun, small world. But I saw her every day because I'd have to get like a late slip for showing up late. And then my dad would have to call the office to be like, he wasn't skipping school, like it's my fault we were late, I was late this morning, we were in traffic, blah, 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 blah. And it got to the point where she was like, your dad doesn't even need to call. Like, it's every day. Like, she was like, don't worry about it. She was so cool. I loved her. She was like the only fucking teacher at my school that like paid me any attention and like actually liked me and like knew my name. Her, my art teacher, and my sophomore year religion teacher, actually, Mrs. Rose. She was like a IBM like programmer, and then she was like, actually I want to teach religion. I was like, what the fuck? And she was like, Jesus was not white. Let's get that through our heads. I was like, you kind of are cool as hell. She was really funny. I really liked her. And she knew about my YouTube. I think because I like wrote an essay one time about YouTube, or like, I think it was like writing an essay about like criticism or something. She was like, how do you relate to Jesus being critiqued? And I was like, well, I get comments every day. And she would come up to me in the hall sometimes after like a year or two after I had her class. And she was like, how's the Pokemon business? And I was just like, it's going great. Which was very cute. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, but yeah, I would have been too late every morning to even get to school in time to take the driver's ed class because it was before school. You'd have to get to school at like 5:30. I was like, I get to school 10 minutes late every day. That didn't even answer your question. Yeah, exactly, Mel. God, I love that video. I haven't told it in a while, but I will tell it again. I remember in senior year, I recorded my first ever Digital Gaming video. It was on the Nintendo DS, and Digital Gaming used to get their videos picked up by Kotaku a lot. And I remember I was in my art class that morning, and my teacher was on his break in the hallway outside of the art classroom, eating his like lunch and watching videos on his phone. And I heard the like Normal Boots intro sound effect. I was like, oh my god, are they watching like PBG or something? And then I heard the Nintendo DS startup sound, and I was like, oh my god. Oh no. And then I had to sit there for like 5 straight minutes listening to my own voice come from my teacher's phone in the hallway. And then once he got to the end of the video, and it was like, if you like this video, check out my channel, and it had like a little clip of me like in my intro, I heard like the video pause, and he comes walking over to me. He's like, Wetzel, what the fuck is this? And I was like, tee. Haha. So I have clout. He was cool. I loved him. I had him in junior year as my art class teacher, and then in senior year he was my film appreciation teacher. He was really cool. He was a huge nerd. He was so cool with me, like drawing Pokémon as my art projects and shit. It's like when Chapel Roan's high school announced her label signing over the loudspeaker, followed by lunch for the day. I did not know about that. That's so cool. Did you ever imagine what people's like Pokemon would be if they were real? No, because I didn't give a fuck about anyone but myself. In that way. I was like, they don't fucking care about Pokemon. Why would I think about what they have? They don't deserve the picks that I would give for them. I assigned everyone a persona in my head. That's crazy. Give Sonic characters Pokemon right now. Ooh, that's a tough one. Oh my god. That's so tough. I mean, obviously Vector the Crocodile would have a Totodile. Like, they're besties. Rouge would have Salazzle, no doubt in my mind. Yeah, Blaze the Cat and Espeon for sure. Silver would have a Bronzong. To me! To me! There's like just little bits of lint in the air from my dogs, and they just tickle my nose, and it drives me fucking crazy. Is there any like hair caught in my glasses? Sometimes that happens. Not today. Yeah, Amy Rose would absolutely have Tinkaton. Coffee always makes me crave water. Anytime we get coffee from like Dunkin' Donuts, I always just feel so thirsty. So I try to bring my water with me. Lately I've been really into I've had a lot of rewards points in Dunkin' that I don't know if they expire. I think they do. So I've just been trying to use them. So every time I get my coffee, and then I also get a refresher with it, with my rewards, so it's free. And that actually quenches my thirst, and then the coffee is to wake me up. I get nose hairs that get really long and then they tickle my nostrils and it's so annoying. That's the one thing about having a mustache too. Sometimes the hairs will like curl up and they tickle my nose and I have to like wet it and put them down. I don't have my sound effects. People that wax all their nose hairs, like, girl, you're gonna be sneezing. Yeah, I usually will just, I have like a nose hair trimming scissor that I stick up there. And I gently cut them. But I'll pluck them occasionally if they're like sticking out. But it's really actually bad to remove your nose hairs because the nose hairs are what help like get boogers to move out of your nose. So it makes it a lot, like, you're more likely to get like really stuffed up if you don't have nose hairs because it just gets stuck up there. What if you got mustache wax and made it fun shapes? I don't let my mustache get long enough to do that because it irritates my skin. Like it like sensory wise, I don't like. I try to trim my mustache right at my lip line because if it starts to go over my lips, it I can't. It irritates my skin. It drives me crazy. So like when I'm trimming my mustache, I like push the hairs down and then any hairs that go onto my lip, I buzz it so it's all evenly straight across. You would eat the fuck out of a Pringles man mustache though. Sometimes I do think I'm like, it would be kind of fun to grow out the corners and like curl them up, but I literally like just today trimmed, so I don't know if I could do that. I just trimmed it. I don't really love the appearance of like the overly styled like mustache kind of vibe though. I'm more of the like Freddie Mercury type. That's what I'm more like attracted to and like on myself. It's a little too like millennial like burger joint owner to me to do that kind of shit. I don't know why. Like, I own a brewery. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You only drink IPAs. You're annoying. I like when mustaches are a character's mouth in cartoons and stuff. Yeah, that is cute. I like that. It's weird whenever like I see Mario and Luigi drawn with mouths under their mustaches. Like, it just looks fucking weird. Sometimes people post like old Mario renders from like 2005 to 9. And Mario's like individually sculpted lips are so unsettling to me from that era. And his skin is like so pale but like reflective. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even grow up with it, but the like N64 era 3D renders of Mario, I think were so much better than the era that I grew up with. In terms of just like the renders they used to promote the Mario games. The games themselves, I don't fuck with N64 games very much. but the 2D renders, or the 3D model renders were very cute. But why do you hate Mario 64? I don't know. I just really don't ever enjoy whenever I've tried to play it. I think she's an overrated flop. I think she was groundbreaking for her time, and I respect her legacy, but I'm kind of... Same with Ocarina of Time. Like, I'm so over her. Wind Waker outshined. Like, are you... Like, let's be so fucking for real here. I do not fuck with 3D games without dual stick camera controls. I'm sorry, Ocarina of Time. I just can't. Yeah. Yeah, Ocarina of Time 3D was pretty. But even that, like, the controls were just not it. Thoughts on Super Mario Galaxy? I actually didn't really play a lot of the original Galaxy. I did have it. I got it for Christmas one year. And I kind of got a little confused by, like, how to get from level to level for some reason. I don't remember playing it very much. But Mario Galaxy 2, I'm pretty sure I 100%ed. I loved Galaxy 2. But I'd love to play Mario Galaxy sometime. I'd want to play it on the Wii, though. I don't really like the Switch controls. I don't really like the motion controls in general. Unless it's like Splatoon, I don't want to be moving my arm when I'm playing a game. Splatoon with the gyro is like just subtle enough that it doesn't drive me crazy. The only time I want to be doing like a motion game is like a Mario Party situation. Where it's like 30 seconds of motion and then back to normal controls. You finally won't have to move your arm with Splat 4. Did you hear? Oh, because of the mouse option? Mouse and keyboard, if that is an option for Splatoon 4, oh baby, I'm gonna be winning tournaments. Believe it. I could never, ever play Splatoon with sticks. I remember like realizing, oh, I actually like shooter games once Splatoon 1 came out because of the gyro. I was like, this is groundbreaking technology. And having the gamepad for the map was so good. It was fucking crazy. I actually played sticks for the entirety of Splatoon 1. Damn. Well, did you play Splatling? I feel like for a gun that you're stationary more often, I could see sticks being less of a stupid situation to be in. But with just how high intensity most matches are in Splatoon with most of the guns, in terms of like, I was more of a charger main. Kind of same thing. Like, you're not up close with people where you have to have like snappier reactions. I feel. I play sticks for literally every shooter game I play. I literally can't fathom that. That's so crazy to me. Like, I just feel like there's such like a lack of like precision and like connection to the aiming that I can't imagine doing that. Maybe if I upped like my joystick sensitivity more, I would feel better about that. But I just feel like I'm moving through sludge. It's impressive. I'm not trying to dunk on you. I'm just saying I literally can't imagine it. It's so, like, I've tried to play with controller before. And it's like, I literally am like, what the fuck? How does anyone do this? Do you think they'll finally add aim assist to Splat if they're doing mouse controls as an option? I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like whenever I have played like a shooter game with sticks, the aim assist, because I don't have it when I'm playing with a mouse, the aim assist almost makes it harder for me to actually figure out what I'm doing. I never really played any shooters till Splatoon, which is why I like gyro or mouse and keyboard. Yeah.
What are we getting in here? If you're gonna scratch the door, you gotta do that. Hi, babies. Hello. Hi, puppy dogs.
Jimmy, play Splat. No, I'm over it. I'm over it. And Mart. Okay, Mart. Maybe I'd be down for. There's a lot I liked about Splatoon 3, I will say. But Splatoon 2 was that girl for me. Splatoon 2, I had like 3,000 hours in it, or something fucking crazy. Splatoon 3, just, I don't know. Just, I did not have that same drive to play it as 2. I feel like Splatoon 3 had a pretty rocky launch. I remember the connections were so bad. Yeah, Nintendo sent me Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. They were some of the last... Splatoon 2 was like one of the last games they ever sent me, I think. Maybe the last. Splatoon 1 was crazy because I remember I got invited to a like press event for that, and I remember making a whole joke out of it. But the Nintendo social team lived for me. They were like, this guy's funny. I'm like, I'm at this Nintendo event, and instead of like actually talking about the game, I was like reviewing the free food. It was crazy though. It was like, I don't know who booked this venue, because it was like, we were on like the 30th floor of a building in New York City. The entire room was like clearly for like wedding shoots. So it was like all ornate and like white. And they had a paintball or like a water balloon full of paint, like mess area where you like would splat a wall. Like you'd like, I did not want to get covered in paint. So I did not go over to it. But I was like, why would they have this here? And they had like, you had to take your shoes off before you went over to it because they didn't want people tracking paint throughout the venue, which was all white. Like, I was like, what? Who booked this? Like, you're on, like, this is crazy to me. It's like so close to getting messy. It's so weird. But yeah, I remember there was this rep there that was like, are you getting a code for this game? I was like, no. And she was just like, I'll hook you up. And then there was also, I remember I was doing this promotional live stream with Best Buy to promote Splatoon. And I got invited to do it by Nintendo. And we were supposed to talk about Splatoon and like talk about our favorite weapons and our favorite maps and stuff. I remember the day before I was talking to Josh about it, and he told me, he was like, yeah, I kind of don't really feel like doing this. I think it's gonna be awkward, but at least we're getting paid. And I was like, we're getting paid? You're getting paid? And he was like, you need to get paid. So he because I didn't know this was even something I could get paid for. But looking back, I'm like, I was doing a commercial and I wasn't even getting paid. Like, what? So, it was great. Josh like advocated to Best Buy on my behalf that like someone needs to pay him for this. So Best Buy, they called me on the phone, the marketing team or something, and they were like, will you do it for this price? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like I was originally doing it for free, like I didn't know, so I just took whatever, but I got some form of compensation to do basically a commercial for Splatoon. Nintendo did not pay me to do it. It was Best Buy who cut the check. So yeah, it was a very awkward live stream. The guy running it was very nice, but not very tech savvy, so it was just really awkward. And like it was on Google Hangouts, so it was like a huge delay. It was the worst. I fucking hated it. But I did it. But yeah, Splatoon 1 was weird because there was a pre-release code that I got a special build of the game that had its own servers separate from like the main Splatoon. So any progress I made on the pre-release version would not carry over to the final one. And I actually still think I have the pre-release version downloaded to my Switch, but it doesn't load anything because that server shut down. But I remember being pissed that like all my weapons I had to start over again, and like my progress in the story I had to start completely over again. So I didn't play much of the story mode in Splatoon 1 because I had to start from scratch again. I think I was like only a double-digit level. I think like the highest level I got in Splatoon 1 was like 30. But I definitely played it a lot. But Splatoon 2 was cool because it was like the pre-release was the same server. So I got to keep all of my cool shit. So I was just curb stomping people on that first day because I had gear with like 3 slots. I had all the weapons I could want because I had beaten the game. I was just like, you can't take it. You cannot take me. I remember I used to get kind of stressed out when Nintendo would send me games because they would always like follow up and ask like, when is the video coming out? And I was like, bestie, I don't know how to tell you that I'm not spending a week working on a review for Mario and Super Mario Brothers, like Puzzle and Dragons. Like, I'm not. No one's gonna fucking watch this. No one cares about this. So that was another reason why I was like, please stop sending me games, because having to put hashtag free product on every fucking post I make kills its reach in the algorithms. And like literally anytime I talk about this game for the rest of my life, I have to be like, free product. So I would always, like, there were a lot of times where if it was a game that I knew I was going to talk about a lot, I'd just, after it came out, like a few months later, I'd buy it myself. So it was no longer a free product. And I didn't have to disclose it anymore. Because I was like, I can't fucking do this shit. Yeah. They sent me I remember there was this representative that I met who asked me, he didn't ask me out on a date, But he asked me to, like, after this event that I went to. It was I went to this event where I got to meet Reggie. And I was like a sophomore in high school. And I guess he didn't know that I was so young. He thought maybe I just looked young. So he was like, a couple of us are going out for drinks after this event. Do you want to come? And I was like, I have school tomorrow. I'm not old enough to drink. I can't go to a bar. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, that was crazy. Anyway, he asked me, I saw him again at another event. He was just like, or maybe he emailed me. He was like, would you like Xenoblade Chronicles for the 3DS? And I was like, I don't have a new 3DS, so don't send me that game. I won't be able to play it. And then like a week later, I got in the mail the new 3DS XL and Xenoblade. And I was gooped and gagged. And I was reading through the embargo where they talked about like all the things you can't mention in your review, and one of them was like a huge spoiler for the game. They were like, don't reveal this huge twist. And I was like, bruh. That's what I get for reading the rules. And I think I even said, like, in the future, like, please put a spoiler warning in the embargo. So I didn't read the embargo for Sun and Moon until I had beaten the game. Because I was like, I'm not even going to start making content about this anyway until I've beaten it. But I was afraid they were going to spoil Sun and Moon for me in the embargo. And I was glad because they listed all these Pokemon that I didn't know about. They were like, don't talk about Alolan Geodude. Don't talk about Alolan Dugtrio, or I don't know. There was a couple things. They were like, don't talk about these Pokemon. My video came out 2 months after anyway, so I was not under embargo anymore. It was if I decided to make a video before the game came out, that's when it would matter. But, and like, they never ended up making me sign anything like that. It was more like, if you'd like us to ever work with you again, please be considerate of our pre-release stuff. And like, it was never like, don't give your opinion on this. It was like, just don't show this boss fight before the game comes out, please. It was like, don't spoil people, don't leak things, which I completely understand. That's pretty typical for any form of media. I don't feel like that's controlling what I have to say. It's more, hey, please don't post the final boss of the game before the game comes out. Thank you. Don't talk about Kukui's big naturals. Exactly. I will say, I definitely have a lot of, you know, they don't always put queer characters in their games, but I almost feel like Nintendo worked with me even more after I was out. I kind of thought that they wouldn't want to work with me anymore after I told everyone I was gay, but they put me on their fucking actual YouTube show, which was cool. Because like, this was the time period where like they were like, we will not be adding gay people to Tomodachi Life. No, we will not be adding gay people to Fire Emblem. No, we will not be adding gay people to this. So I was kind of surprised that they still wanted to work with me, but it was pretty nice. Did you ever meet Pikachu? No. I've never worked with Pokemon Company. Only Nintendo. I only got Sun and Moon because Nintendo was handling the press for that one, I think. But yeah, Pokemon Company has never worked with me. For a while, not to be like overly critical, but for a while I noticed they didn't really work with any queer creators. But now I haven't really noticed them work with many queer men. But at the least things are changing a little bit. They work with like non-binary and AFAB queer people more often now. Look at Crom and Robin now. I know. There are times I kind of wish I still got like YouTuber perks and like a lot of I know there's a couple like YouTubers that like got a tour of Game Freak or like got a tour of Nintendo. Like that stuff seems kind of cool, but also like I like feeling like I can kind of give my opinions on stuff without feeling like I'm burning a bridge. I try to be as respectful as I can, even when I am being overly critical. Because anytime especially with like Pokemon, whenever I have criticism, it comes from a place of deep passion and caring for this IP. But I feel like I would like there's a lot of YouTubers and stuff that like get like a free ticket to Pokemon Go tour in LA. Like I saw them posting. And a lot of them are like oomfies of mine. And I'm like, you work, bitch. Like get that. That's so fun. And like there's times where I'm like, ugh. I kind of wish that was me. But then I'm like, I would not feel comfortable shitting on how bad of an event it was. Because it was bad. I paid like $60 for my ticket and it was a horrible day. It was terrible. It was a terrible event. Would you ever go to Pokemon Worlds? I've always wanted to, and this year it's going to be in Anaheim, so I will be going. Do I need to buy tickets? Are they sold out? I don't know. I've never been to Worlds. I've only ever been to like regionals. And the first time I ever had to buy a ticket to a regional was this past year in 2024. Just a spectator pass. That's what I figured. I really want to go. I think it's going to be fun. I think there's a wait list for when passes drop. I should look into that. I hope my brother gets asked to edit Worlds again to give me free merch. That's cool. Sometimes I get nowadays I only ever get concerned that like, oh, me being critical about Pokemon, that's probably would keep me from ever having like the chance to voice a Pokemon in the anime dub. Or like if I was ever critical of like a Nintendo game, I fear that they would not want me to ever voice like a Fire Emblem character. Cuz those are like where my aspirations are nowadays, is like getting to play a character in a game or a movie or a show or something. But that's why I try to just, if I am gonna give my opinion and it's a negative one, try to be as respectful as I can with how I say it. Sometimes I just can't help myself from being the biggest bitch to ever live. I just can't help it. That's that gay part in me. I speak in hyperboles almost every day of my life, at every waking moment. I can't help it. I am dramatic as hell. For better or worse. Me as fuck. Hello, Ellen. Start doing makeup vids and get PR for me. That it is crazy when I hear about like whenever like YouTubers talk about getting PR packages. I'm like, that's so crazy to just like get free shit. I would love for like clothing brands to send me clothes, but then I would have to like make actual Instagram posts with pictures of myself in the clothes, and I'm like, I don't want to. Ew, being photographed. Ew, barf, vomit. But I want to have fashion. You could be so be a big beefy clothing model. Yeah, I could see like a small queer business wanting me to model something. But sometimes I feel like a lot of those clothing brands have a very specific body type of guy that they pick, and it's usually ones that are dabbling in steroids and have 0% body fat. And that'll never be me. I think I might have like, I have at least one article of clothing from JJ Malibu. I have a crop top that I really like. And maybe I might have a pair of underwear, I don't know. I remember when I first came out, one of the first things I did was I bought a pair of Andrew Christian underwear because of Drag Race. It's the only gay underwear brand that I had heard of, and apparently that guy sucks, and the shit was overpriced as hell. So I literally owned one jockstrap from them, and I didn't even like it. It was uncomfortable. My old job hated them because they were getting so much traction and they were fairly new to the game. Their stuff's really nice. Like the designs. If I was further along in my like bodybuilding progress, I would probably purchase more of their items, but I only just started feeling confident enough to wear a crop top like 2 months ago. So Esper, psst, 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 Esper, where are you? Psst, 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 psst. Huh. Thoughts on Glaceon, and why is she such a fucking stupid, ugly flop? Holy shit. Okay. Well, I kind of don't care for Glaceon. I don't dislike Glaceon. But I am definitely an Umbreon Espeon gay person versus a Glaceon Leafeon gay person. It's honestly everything Glaceon does, Vaporeon can do. They've got all the same fucking moves, and Vaporeon is just like stat-wise just better at executing them. Less weaknesses. Design-wise, I actually don't hate Glaceon. It's probably more towards the middle of, like, if I were to rank the evolutions. Bad shiny. Same with Leafeon. Like, they kind of are Floptina Dupree to me. I always forget about them. I think of the first 5 and then Sylveon. I don't think about the 2. The Sinnoh ones. Leafeon being like a physical attacking grass type with only Leaf Blade as its only like option for that. It's like, it's so hard to use it in like a story mode playthrough. The older I get, the more I am indifferent to literally every evolution. Couldn't be me. Umbreon and Espeon are in my top 5 Pokemon ever. I will ride or die for those fucking lesbians. They're everything to me. I was a big Jolteon fan for a little bit there. I had a Jolteon toy that I had a whole plot line around where I taught my like one of my trainers taught the Jolteon how to use Volt Tackle by studying one of the other trainers that I played with, like studying their Pikachu. I had like a whole like training arc that I fucking did for my toys. I was like, it taught it a move that it shouldn't be able to even learn. I do sometimes feel that at least the Kanto evolutions is very like basic bitch vibes. Was it Naomi Smalls that was like, do not fuck with evolution gay men? They are the scariest people ever. the gaggle of gays that dress like evolutions and they're literally just in like color-coded underwear and ear headbands. With tails. And they're all like 0% body fat and the scariest circuit party faggots you'll ever see. She channeled something that was in my brain and she fucking said it herself. I was like, wow, you really pulled that out of my subconscious. Yes, very that, Alex. I remember there were sometimes people would come into my chat and I was like, I don't think you understand that that's not our word. Are they the ones in that Joyride edit? I don't remember. It's a very common archetype of game man. Pokemon Go kind of made me view a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon as like basic bitch vibes, which is something I no longer really feel, but I've also been healing my inner child by allowing myself to be obsessed with Pikachu again. Because, like, for years as a child, my favorite Pokemon was Pikachu. And then it was Piplup. Blaziken was up there too, but there just was significantly less merch of him. Honestly, like, how can you not love Pikachu? Even if he's not your favorite, he's just lovable, right? Like, he's just perfect. Charizard is actually cool as hell. I've come around on so many Gen 1 Pokemon lately. I love that everything is a stupid fucking dinosaur. A lot of my favorite Pokemon are not Gen 1, but I do think that, like, Gen 1 is a very strong set. Gen 1 fucking loves gray and purple. They fucking love gray and purple. I feel like Gen 2 is a lot more colorful and more my speed in terms of character design. Poison type showed up in Gen 1, 10 toes down. Yeah, there wasn't fossil Pokemon in Gen 9. I guess the Paradox Pokemon are kind of... They are prehistoric, so maybe that's why they didn't make any. I did like Gen 8's... Well, the only Gen 8 fossil Pokemon I liked was Dracozolt. I kind of thought they were Floptinas. The rest of the four. The other three. They feel like not real fossils, though. That, too. Dynamax Dracozolt was one of my favorite teams to build around, though. I loved it. Because it had Hustle as its ability. Which was, like, ideal for Dynamax. Durant being incredibly meta in early Sword and Shield because of Dynamax was one of my favorite things ever. Like, why is this stupid fucking ant so good? Just because of this gimmick. Like, that was one of the things that I loved about Dynamax, was it made so many weird ass Pokemon really good. Azumaphoros, thank you for the 35 months. I will be picking Chikorita. I've settled. I've put my foot down for my girl. But it's a really tough choice for me because all three of them are some of my favorite starters ever. So it's really tough, but I gotta ride for my girl. She needs the support. So I will be picking her. I said we need a better ant Pokemon in a different stream and got immediately jumped. This is a safe space for that. What do you want to end up doing for food? I don't know. I'm gonna go another 5 minutes and then we can figure it out. I'm banking on them finally making Feraligatr as good as Croconaw in my eyes. I would love to see Feraligatr channel some of that like Unga Bunga caveman vibes that Croconaw randomly has and then loses. But I love Feraligatr. I love the Johto trio so much. I kind of want to start replaying Arceus in my free time, and I think I'm going to pick Cyndaquil. Because the idea of having Quilava... There was a little part of me that was like, I wonder if they were going to do the Johto trio and give them all Megas, but because of, like, the fucking Typhlosion shit from over the Game Freak leak, made them change their mind last minute. Because they didn't want to deal with annoying people. But I think reasonably it's because we already got a Hisuian one. So, Carmen, thank you for the 28 months. I hope you're well. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm really hoping that it's new forms and not Megas, but I think it's pretty obvious it's gonna be Megas because that's the whole thing about Kalos. But I love a form. More, in my opinion, I love a regional any day over a Mega, a Dynamax, any of that. I feel like it'll be new forms for the ZA trio, and the Kalos starters are getting Megas. That's actually, I would prefer that personally. I agree with that. I think that's my dream, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But that's what I would like to manifest. I saw someone say they're deciding their starter from that free pre-order plush. That's such a good idea. If I wasn't so addicted to getting Pokemon games at midnight and streaming them, I would be willing to wait for my game to come in the mail, I would be down for that. Because that is cute. I remember I went to a midnight launch for Black and White, and then I went to a midnight launch for X and Y, and I remember getting recognized while I was waiting in line at the X and Y launch by someone who watched my videos. I was with my dad. And it was so weird. It was the closest I had ever been recognized, like, to my house. Until one time I got recognized by these kids who lived in a building a few, like 3 blocks away from mine. And they lived in a building that I used to live in from when I was like born to the age of 2. I was like, that's so weird. That's so fucking weird. They were like 10 at the oldest, and they followed me home. They like were an entire block distance from me, but they were following me on their bikes. I like saw them out of the corner of my eye when I was turning. I was like, oh my god. So I went into a store to lose them. Midnight releases are so fun. I went to one for Tears of the Kingdom and got clocked as non-binary by the GameStop worker. I haven't been to a midnight release since X and Y. For anything. Actually, that's not true. I went to the midnight launch for the Switch because some people that I was friends with that worked for Nintendo were in New York for the event, and I already had a Switch, so I was not waiting in line to buy one. So I waited next to the line with like the Nintendo employees that I knew and just talked with them. And then like 2 hours before midnight, I went home because I was like, okay, I'm over this. Like I have no reason to be here. I'm not gonna buy anything. I'm not in line. So I was like, I'm just gonna go home. But I remember Etika was there. He was like one of the first people in line, and they were all screaming Joy-Con boys. I never met him, but he was there. I'm like 99% positive he was there. There was some other YouTubers that was there too. He was like the first one in line. I don't know who he was though. I was not familiar with him. All right, 9 o'clock. I'm gonna wrap it up. This is my last encounter. Alrighty. That's it for me. I could see myself getting a Switch in person at midnight. A Switch 2. If I pre-order at like a physical store. If I can't get one online. But we'll see. Can we? I would love to. That'd be so fun. Because I got fucking pressured into buying that GameStop membership. But they told me that I'd get priority for pre-orders on Switch 2. That was like the reason why I was like, fine, just give it to me. So I may have to resort to pre-ordering at a physical store. Although I used to never pre-order at GameStop, I used to always pre-order at Toys R Us because GameStop was notorious for selling your pre-ordered item if somebody got there before you, which defeats the entire purpose of a pre-order, and it used to piss me off. So I never pre-ordered there. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. I'm gonna raid Hasty. She raided me the other day. And she is playing Pokemon. She's doing a sleep lock for X and Y. God, that could be fun to do someday. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching.